What's the difference between tearing paper and burning it? We found out today on A Moment of Science. Alright, so a big concept for us in IPC is the difference between a chemical change and a physical change. Okay, you're probably well aware of this and probably have kind of beat the dead horse, if you will, since middle school. Okay, we kind of know what a physical change is and what a chemical change is. But just in case you forgot, okay, a physical change occurs when there is a change of state or appearance. Okay, so whenever we boil water, for instance, okay, and it turns to gas, we still have water. Okay, it's just water in the gaseous state versus water in its liquid state. Okay, and for instance, if I have a piece of paper, okay, and I tear the piece of paper in half, I've changed the appearance of the paper. Is it still paper? I think so, okay? So it's still paper. It hasn't changed what it's made of. It's still exactly the same substance. So that makes that a physical change. All right, a chemical change is when something gets a little bit different. Okay, a chemical change occurs when there is a change in the substance itself, all right? And most people think that this is irreversible, and the physical changes are reversible. Not always the case, but for the most part, yes, okay? Chemical changes are irreversible. Once they happen, they're done, okay? But something that's really important is that mass is always conserved in a chemical change, okay? The mass before the stuff that you put in to react is going to be exactly the same as the stuff you get out. That's what happens in a chemical change. Now, there are a couple of signs of a chemical change. One of them, for instance, can happen if I take a piece of Alka-Seltzer and drop it into water, okay? When that occurs, you notice that fizzing, okay? If I can get it to actually turn towards you. Okay, the fizzing that's occurring in there is the production of bubbles, and that's actually an indicator of a chemical change, okay? There's also several other indicators. Color change is very important. Okay, unnatural temperature changes, when we talk about that, that's when things get extremely hot or extremely cold when we don't want them to be, okay? For instance, if I boil water, I'm actually heating it up. I expect it to heat up. But if I mix baking soda and vinegar together, it gets really cold. Okay, we'll test that out in lab. Another chemical change indicator is the production of light, okay? So when you burn something, you notice that it starts to produce light, okay? That's an indicator of a chemical change. All right, a little bit different, but it does produce light, produce heat. That is an indicator of a chemical change. Now, there's many, many more, and I'm sure you probably heard of thousands, okay, souring milk, things like that, and we'll go over those all the time during class. So be expecting that kind of stuff when we come next time. We'll see you next time on A Moment of Science.